All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. And here I am with my good friend Scooby, who is a quarterback for the team I work for, and he's agreed to uh, do this little interview with me and like share a few stories and just talk about some sports. Thanks for doing this, Scooby.
Anytime.
So, for my first question is, how long have you been playing quarterback? Would you say for your life?
Since I was five, so I would a little bit, say about like 20, about 20, whew, like 29 years, something about like that. Yeah, about 29 years.
Wow, that's a lifetime. Damn. And would you say that your game has evolved, or you've pretty much stayed the same over the course of those 29 years?
Well, I would definitely say I evolved because I started when I was five. I'm 34 now. So I would definitely say I evolved over the time. But that, not just on my own, but with a lot of help with a lot of different coaches, school, my parents being on my back, having really good friends who stayed on my back about me being, the best I could be. And like I said, I can't never be anywhere without my coaches. So I had a lot of different coaches in my life who believed in me and yeah, kind of always made sure I did the best to be the best of to be the best Scooby I could be for a team.
And uh, which which was your like favorite? Was so obviously you probably played Pop Warner, right?
Yep.
I actually never played Pop Warner, so you got me in that respect. What is it like to be in like Pop Warner? Is it
Uh,
because I don't know. I want to like open that door and like try to experience what I missed out on.
Pop Warner's the fundamentals. At the end of the day, for me, it was really structured because I played Pop Warner in Ohio, where I'm from, and it was a family-owned team. My family's really big on football, so it was very structured. Like I said, you know, it's the fundamentals. Pop Warner football is the fundamentals. That's where you learn how to do everything. That's where you learn the X's and O's. Um, and when you first, that's where you get your your real first taste of football in Pop Warner.
And would you say you did very well in Pop Warner and like and got people's attention, or and like you won most of your games, or like was it like middle of the road?
I would say at the beginning, like, I'm not gonna say I really remember being five, but I know I've always been on the taller spectrum of kids. So for me, it was, uh, playing Pop Warner. I always had like a size advantage over a lot of kids because I've been taller my whole entire life. So, but it's always middle of the road. Because every year changes. Your team changes. The structure doesn't change, but talent changes, and like kids leave, kids move, new kids come in. It's always a learning process, and that's at every level, especially if it's being done right.
All right, and did it was it like so like so? Let's see. So you played Pop Warner and I want to guess the '90s or '80s?
In the '90s.
'90s.
In the
How
'90s.
is it the same price it was to join Pop Warner then as it is now, or is the price gone up over time?
I would say the price is probably around the same. I think I believe it's the same because you still have to. I think it's really always been the same, like $100 to $150. Some teams might be more, but that's everywhere. Some teams always so there's always a team that's always a little bit more than one other team because that team might offer a little bit more. So it's I think it's pretty much the same though.
And you're lucky. When I play hockey, it would cost my father because me and my brother would play. He was a goalie. I was a forward. My brother would cost less because he was a goalie because goalies are more demand. It would cost him about $6,000 because it was $3,000 to play for the organization in the season, and then travel expenses and all the whole whatnot. So you honestly got lucky in terms of that respect. It cost a fraction of what my father had to pay year in and year out for me to play hockey. And it's honestly gone up. At first, it was like I think it was 2,500. Then it steadily rise to 3,000, and now I think it's like 3,300. honestly, who knows how much more it's going to get.
Yeah, I
It's
would say I could see that. Because with hockey, a lot more gear is needed, especially when it comes to goalie. I know that. I always wanted to play hockey, but I wasn't allowed to play. So,
really, you weren't allowed. So your parents would let you play football, but they wouldn't let you play hockey.
sound like that, yeah.
That, I mean, they're both. I mean, they're both violent. What's the difference?
Uh, Hockey wasn't really big, really where I'm from like that. I was just always an amazing skater, and I still skate to this day. I still like to go skating every once in a while, and it was just always something that I wanted to try to do. But it's not like my high school. My high school didn't have a hockey team because, like I said, I'm not from Mass, so I didn't have one of those.
Wow, it's, it's hard for me to imagine going to a high school without having hockey, or a town that doesn't have league that much hockey. It's that would be just so alien to me.
Yeah, hockey was never really a big thing in Ohio. I think like the Columbus Blue Jackets came into existence in like the early 2000s.
I think they came in. I think they came in during the expansion. I think in '99 or 2000 and everything. Man, I just, I just, but I figured because Ohio's close to Canada, it's like usually it's always the northern states that have a lot of hockey.
Oh yeah, we're more Midwest. We're big. We're a lot bigger on our football. Everybody plays football. Football is the main thing there. Then basketball would come after that.
Gotcha. So how was it? What was it like for the game to transition from Pop Warner to high school? Was it a big learning curve, or is it because you already knew everybody around you, you understood like the game well enough to know, okay, it's going to get harder. I got to dedicate more to the game.
Going into high school was being a lot more dedicated, especially being a freshman. Any freshman who goes into high school should always want to play varsity, and I was aiming towards, being a varsity quarterback. Going into being a freshman in high school, it was familiar because most of the people that you play Pop Warner with, you end up going to high school with. And so you end up, a lot of guys, in the same class. You have a familiar, you're familiar with them because you played with them for so long since you were kids. So that wasn't really the challenge. It was the challenge of literally just going into high school and trying to be the starter, and proving to my coaches and to the senior guys, all the senior classmen that I deserve to play with them.
And did they respect you for doing that, like just trying to be yourself and everything, or was it like or did they like and sometimes take it the wrong way?
No, 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 no. Respected, because I already made a name for myself. Because like I said, in Ohio, it's a little more different. You got high school coaches who go look at, kids in Pop Warner, who are getting ready to transition into high school, and because Ohio is a lot bigger, you got 2 or 3 high schools per side of Columbus, Ohio. So there's coaches everywhere, trying to get guys to, depending on where they live at in their district, trying to get them to come to their high schools. For me, my family all went to one high school, so I already knew where I was going to high school at. And the transition wasn't really bad, really at all, because again, I had cousins who played on the team. I already knew the coach because he's been around the family, knew my dad. So again, it was just really just trying to prove to the upperclassmen that I had it, and I was able to do that.
Yeah. And so, what do you? Many people really love their high school football days. I heavily enjoyed my years at playing high school football. I wish I got into football. It's one of my biggest regrets. Um, were you guys like one of like the top in your like division, like county, like
We
win
were.
most games?
Yes, we were. Like I said, I played for inner city school, but there was a lot of inner city schools. And then we also played other schools outside of, Columbus. So, but we were a really good team. I was very fortunate to win 2 state championships my freshman and my sophomore year. Was very short my junior year, like a game shy my junior year. It was fun. There's nothing like the atmosphere of high school football, especially when you come from a place where football means a lot to everybody. Seeing 5,000 people, at a high school football game, 10,000 people at a high school football game, every Friday night is very nice.
Well, my answer to you winning two is this.
Champions, baby. Yes.
So you have one more than me because my team went the place I'm from, Stoneham. We went in 2018 and to Gillette Stadium and we won. It was the
Nice.
What?
I said very nice.
Yeah, it was it was the first time our school had ever won a championship because let's just say we were not good because I think from 2000 to 2010 they had won a total. Don't quote me on this. I think 12 games, and we went through a 3-year stretch where we didn't win a single game. It was, let's just say, it was bad. It was bad.
Okay.
We basically got the Bill Belichick of high school football in Massachusetts, I believe, and then he basically from 2010 to 2018 basically turned around the program and everything, and now my town Stoneham is one of the best in the business. So what was it? So what was it like to be in those championship games? Were you like surprised? Like, would you like try to take in the moment? Or like you were so like dialed in, it's like we win this game, and and worry about other things later.
Well, the pressure is always there, especially being so young, going into big moments like that. But when you have the hold on one second. Excuse me, I'm sorry. When you have the people behind you backing you who believe in you, and it minimizes that pressure a lot. So I would say that those moments were just other football games, but they just meant a lot more.
So what were they very close games? The two championship games you won, was it like really close and you had to like go down to the wire?
The first year we won by a touchdown. It was a real close game. I didn't think that we were going to pull off that game, but our defense had pulled out a big one on that one, and it put us in a really nice position to score right at the end of the game. And then the year after, we won by 2 touchdowns.
Damn, you lucky. Ours came down
Well,
to
I was very fortunate to play with a lot of guys when I was young who were about to go D1. So again, I was put in a very unique situation, and a very good one at that.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely are right with that. Wow. I think this prior year we finally had a guy go D1. Though I can't confirm it because I haven't talked to him a bit. I think he was being scouted by Oklahoma. Because
Nice.
let's just say he was like. So how tall are you, Scooby?
I'm 6'1", but I've been 6'1" since I was 13. About 13.
Okay, so you can relate. So this guy is, I think, 6'3", and he was 6'3" as a freaking freshman in high school.
I swore I was going to be 6'3", but nope, that never happened for me. I envy him a little bit. I swore I was going to be taller.
I wish I could be your height.
Yeah.
You got lucky because Italian families, we get stuck at 5'6" to 5'8".
I hear you, brother.
So yeah, he was basically a big fish and a big fish. Because it got to points where even the opposing coaches on the JV teams and the freshman teams would come up to the coaches in the middle of games and say, "Is that kid really a freshman?" And everything, and the coaches, yeah, he's really a freshman. And they would talk to the refs, and the refs would talk to the coaches, and oh no, it's all confirmed. So that they couldn't believe it. So he's been so far one of the most successful guys. So I guess a couple more questions on high school is like, what kind of, were you guys a run heavy or like pass happy or like basically in the middle?
It was a middle. It was a 50-50.
And were you like the type of guy to like try to air it out or try to make something with your legs?
Only run really when I had to. But again, I'm a quarterback, not a running back or a fullback. That's what those people's job. That's what the name explains itself. I had times where I was able to extend plays on my legs or make plays on my legs, but I literally have one job only. That's to hand off the ball the right way to one of two people, or to throw it to one of my receivers. That's supposed to be my job. But it's always cool when you can do other things. But I was raised in a very traditional offense, so you know, I'm a little iffy about the running stuff because if your starting quarterback gets laid out trying to break down the field for 50 yards a run, then where does that leave you? So, and I've been in situations like that, where I thought I was gonna, didn't make a play, but then got my bell rung, and had to sit down, and that detriments your offense a lot because you can't game plan for that afterwards unless you had a solid backup who can get the job done and also who the team believes in. So it's like it's iffy.
So you feel like is it if the top if like you feel like if the field general goes down, basically the rest of the ship would go down?
Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. I feel it's like if well, what is the point of getting your you're the guy that's like supposed to be the leader, supposed the guy that's the supposedly the most athletic on the field on the offense. What if he gets hurt? What's the like? You just destroyed your chances of winning.
Yeah. And don't
It's
get me wrong, I like the way that the game of football, especially as the offense, developed over the years, like RPOs and things like that. Because again, you have so many quarterbacks who can be mobile and get extra chunks of yards. But then again, you're putting those guys in a very sticky situation.
yeah. It's my high school is we basically run 90% of the time. The most times that my quarterback ever threw the ball was 20 was I believe 23 times the entire season.
Mm.
A lot of quarterback sneaks, quarterback powers. I believe the year I won it, my quarterback rushed for I think it was 800 yards or like 900 yards, and this guy
Okay.
was a beast. He was a freaking beast. He would jump over like he was basically like Lamar Jackson, but his arm was just unbelievable.
Well, I'm surprised that he
It,
didn't throw more, but it sounds like if he went to college and if there was a college who was actually probably going to recruit him, maybe it might be like Navy or Army. They run or maybe even like a Grambling State, just because they run like a triple option type of offense. When if you're a quarterback trying to go to college to be a quarterback and you don't do a lot of throwing, it's going to be hard. You'll end up in a college that does a lot more running. And I think for any quarterback, they shouldn't be satisfied with that because again, you signed up to be a quarterback. A quarterback's job is to throw the ball, and that should be your main focus. And I don't know, like I said, if you have like I said, it's cool if you have a quarterback who can move and run the ball, but if he can also throw, then you need to put him in that situation where he can also throw the ball because again, he is a quarterback.
the problem was we didn't have any wide receivers because
That's understandable.
the offense we ran, we basically ran the what the Baltimore Ravens now run. Except I originally went to high school. I wanted to be a wide receiver. Second I got there, I figured out we had no freaking my actually when I joined my sophomore year, we did have one wide receiver or two wide receivers. And then after that year, we had never had any wide receivers. It was just tight ends, running backs, fullbacks, and all that. But basically we would turn sometimes the running backs into wide receivers, and I as I said before, the most times he ever threw was 23, 26. But when we did go to the championship, I think we aired it out, I think, at least 12 to 14 times in just those four. How many games did 1, 2, 3? In 4 games, I think we threw about 15 times. So it was, and the season is 8 games. So we threw more times in those 4 games than we did the whole freaking season. So I think in some ways my coaches made an adjustment saying, okay, let's do some different things and throw a little bit more to throw off our team. And it did work. My quarterback, I think, threw for 240 yards in one game, and like one time I think he threw for another 200, and like he was just throwing 2 touchdowns, 1 touchdown every game.
Nice. Well, again, that's what coaches are for. You got to make things work with what you have, and even if he was able to do that, that's always putting your players in a good position. So that's not bad.
Do you think? I guess this is just a personal question. Do you think is with being a mobile quarterback, it puts undue tread on your body that could hurt you later on in terms of college or even pro level?
I'm sorry. Could you please repeat that question? I'm sorry. I lost you just at the beginning of it.
I apologize. So my question is, do you think being a running quarterback puts undue tread on your knees and wears them out to the extent that it could affect you later on in terms of college or pro?
It's a 50-50 thing, because again, that's a risk that you take, especially depending on what type of office that you're in when you're in high school. So if you're in a running offense when you're in high school and that's what you're obligated to do as a quarterback, then that's just what you have to do. But also that attribute that you have will be the reason why you get looked at by school. So again, you have to do what you have to do what your system is asking you, what your system's asking of you to do.
All right. So did you went to college, correct?
I did.
Could I ask which one?
I really don't like getting into the college scenario because I didn't finish, and it's kind of like it's a pointless light kind of shit on my life.
All right. So I won't go into that. How long have you been doing semi-pro football?
Since I moved here from Ohio, so like 2006, 7.
And how would you say your career has gone? Did it go like as you wanted it, or it's been like sometimes up and downs with really, really highs or really, really lows?
I would say it would definitely be a 50-50 on that question. When I first started, I was very fortunate to play for a team that had a lot of talent. I was just able to come in and just kind of add, especially being somebody young and a fresh body and just coming out, just moving here still in football shape. And we won a championship that first year with the team that I played with. And then after that, I stayed there for a little while, but I wanted to get another opportunity with another team, so I wound up leaving to go play for another team. And things there went pretty well. That first year, we were above 500, made it into the playoffs, lost in the semis, and then I had some unfortunate some life situations come about, which took my focus off of football for a little while. But then I was still able to get back in it. Right as that next season was starting, I was able to get back with the team that I was with. I stayed there for another season. That year was above 500, but we lost the first round of the playoffs. I was still going through what I was going through. Then from there, I went to play for a different team just because of I moved. So I played for a team that was closer to where I was at. Went back to back there, championships, got 2 rings there. But I played receiver for that team.
Oh, you played receiver?
I'm sorry. Yes, I did.
Man, that's hard. All right, I'm trying to imagine that.
It
Was
wasn't a
that
hard transition because when I was in Ohio before I moved to, I learned the position. Um, so it wasn't really a bad transition for me. I was the backup quarterback for that team. The starter was a legitimate guy who's been a part of the organization for years, led them to multiple Super Bowls. The offense was built around him. They were very up forward. The team was very up forward about me. They knew that I was coming in to play quarterback, but they let me know, like, listen, if you could beat them out, beat them out. But they let me know that the team was built around that quarterback, and I didn't want to disrupt anything. They asked me if I play any other position. I told them that I could play in the slot. I played in this. I showed them what I can do, run good routes, caught the ball. The starting quarterback was very impressed, and then I became a starting slot receiver for that team for 2 years, and got 2 rings and helped us get rings there.
you catch a lot of touchdowns?
I caught my fair share. It was a all around team
All
effort.
right.
Again, another balanced team.
And so how is so with each team, was it like challenging to like learn a new playbook, or has it been kind of like you see the same thing, a certain same plays in each playbook, so you start to see, look, I
You
can
have
do this. I already know this.
It's a mixture. I would say it's a mixture of both. You have some teams that really want to be different because, in the semi-pro world, guys run a lot of the same things. The formations might look different, but routes are the same. Guys don't change their number trees, so when guys are audible and guys already know, kind of like defenses already know what guys are doing. Uh, but I have been a part of teams where there's been offensive coordinators who really pride themselves on being different. Every team is different.
So, so how do you feel like going into so this is so how many, so if you started so if you started semi pro 2007, this is what, so 2007, 2017, that's 10, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So this is your 15th season, is my math right?
I would say more like maybe like my maybe 11th, just because I took a few years off because I sustained a bad
Mm.
injury a week before our first game in 2000.
You cut out for a season?
Yeah, I took a few seasons off. I was out for about like 3 years, maybe like 3.5 years. And then honestly, I can't even really count the seasons that I just played because the past few years that I've been trying to play, the teams have not been getting things done. So let's just say this is more like my 11th or 12th year,
Okay.
fully
So
playing
going
a
into
season.
your mm, so going into your 12th year, how do you playing for a new team? Do you is it still like a bit of uh do you find us what's the word I'm trying to find? Do you like the challenge of it being a new team and trying to maybe create something that new, and maybe try to advance certain legacies?
Absolutely. I would say the challenge is fun because you want to know. It's just like it's kind of like the unknowable. So, you know, for me, it's just I have to make sure that I'm the best me I can be for for the organization at the end of the day, and everything else will follow.
And obviously you love the people that right now you've surrounded yourself with in terms of coaching. You like the coaching.
Absolutely. The coaching, the years on the coaching is ridiculous, and the knowledge that comes with it is, next to none. Um, and I'm happy to be a part of it and be a part of the great minds that are here.
All right. My last question is, what is the most interesting story you can think of throughout your playing career? Like the most interesting whack story you can think of?
From anywhere or just from semi-pro?
From anywhere.
Most memorable story would be, I would say my touchdown. I had a 45-yard scamper in my state championship game in Ohio when I got my rib cracked when I dove into the end zone. And that was probably like my favorite.
Wow. You got your ribs cracked?
Yeah, trying to dive into the end zone by an outside linebacker. It was nasty, but I got the touchdown. That's all that mattered. That's all that mattered.
Holy shit. Man, I've never had a crack. The closest I ever had to a cracked rib, I took a freaking helmet to the rib, and I thought I'd broken in the game. I felt like I freaking was gonna die. I can't imagine actually cracking my. Oh my god, that must have been painful.
Yeah, very, very painful. Couldn't breathe. The lung hit against it sucked, but it was worth it. It was worth it. It was one of those memorable moments.
Jeez. Well, thank you very much, Scooby. I look forward to you playing this season. I can't wait for you to light it up.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Hope you people enjoyed. See you next time.